Sup you lot, time for a 15 plus 10 rapid. It's interesting, it says the rating range that it's going for was that 1307 to 1707 or something like that. Just said, okay, Sicilian. Now, I'm going to go Wing Gambit because I feel like it's more my style than the Grand Prix. Okay, the idea with the Wing Gambit, like so many others, like for example, the King's Gambit. When your opponent plays a pawn in the centre, you play one of your wing pawns to try and deflect it away from the centre so that you can have the centre. Now against the Sicilian, the way to do that is to play the B pawn. If they take, you can then play D4 and you have the centre. So now I'm going to take anyway, and he's taken there, but now black has no D pawn. Right? Now it's still preventing me from playing D4, which is the idea of the Sicilian. I can actually put pressure on this pawn. If I want to, I can play bishop a3, which is not a bad move. In bishop c4, kind of Smith-Morra style, or knight f3 look fine. I don't see anything wrong with knight f3. This is an 11-5 game for me, so my opponent's rated 1635 from Denmark. Now, question. Do I want to bring up my bishop and pin this knight? Well, can I put any more pressure on the knight? d4, d5 isn't going to work because of capture. That was the former d pawn, now a c pawn, wants to promote itself back to a d pawn. Of course it does. So that doesn't really work. The only other good place for the bishop is probably here, and I'm not worried about that. So I think this makes sense. Let's get castled. Now at some point I'd like to exploit the fact that I have two central pawns, but this xd pawn isn't going to let me do that unless I play c3 and then d4. c3 now means my knight can't develop. But certainly d4 isn't playable because you've got two attackers, two defenders. This, structurally, it's probably the right thing to do. Although, you could argue that by playing a gambit, and now I'm not a pawn down, has to be said, I'm not a pawn down. By playing a gambit, what I should be doing is maximising my piece development and activity and trying to launch an attack before my opponent can get his stuff together. Now, e5 is a very common idea. Anytime you develop a knight, you don't really want to do it to a square where a pawn can simply step forward unopposed and hurry you away. I'm not concerned about the knight because I'm defending it with my own knight. If I do this, where's he going to go? Nowhere scary. Okay, he's come to there. Alright, we're not bothered. I think castles now makes sense. Now d4 is playable. d4, pawn takes, the queen's now blocked off, you see. So I think d4, cd, cd. And we've got a very jolly little centre going on. And both of my bishops can be gainfully employed eyeing up the king side. Now the dark squared bishop, to be fair, its ideal diagonal is very cluttered with my own junk. So, right, do we want to develop the queen? Now this pawn is defended by the knight. Do I want to... It's defended. I guess my general idea is going to be to want to attack on this light diagonal. So the question is, do I want to bring my bishop round and put my queen in front? Or, which is 3 moves, or do I want to get my queen, for example, here, and then drop my bishop down, which is also 3 moves. But I think a developing move is sensible at this point. Get my queen off the back rank, right, rather than start manoeuvring my already developed pieces. 2 attackers here, 3 defenders on this one. We're okay. Opponent's moving quite quickly. Now, if you want, let's see how badly you want that pawn. Does he want it badly enough to take? I mean, bishop. That is my good bishop. But again, I've just captured towards the centre once more. Okay. So now he's decided to break my pawns before I can, use these 4 pawns together. So, options now. I think c takes d is probably the better option. When I can take with the pawn, the queen, or the knight. Let's consider all 3. Pawn supports this guy, which is in my opponent's half of the board, and will hopefully cause him headaches. Knight takes. Can't go there or there, and this way is kind of the wrong direction. Queen takes. No, I just got instinct as pawn takes. Now it does leave me with an isolated b pawn, but I do have now a good centre that's unopposable because there's no c pawn. f6 is a possibility. So I'm really just testing the water with this gambit. I might try and trade off the dark squared bishops. I mean, his bishop can come out here. Yes, my knight is guarding. But there... This knight actually has nothing to do right now, so does this knight want to get into the fun? Probably centralising the knight makes a lot of sense. What's the point of this move? That isn't playable right now. Or do I want to go after his knight and try and exchange that? And then if e takes d5, that leaves him with an isolated pawn. Why not? You isolated my pawn, I'm going to try and isolate yours. Takes is okay. It leaves my queen kind of awkward. Now, I'd love to be attacking h7, but opponent has quite a good battery against that square with a queen and bishop double act. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take here. He's not. He's not going to trade his rook for that bishop. But I don't like this bishop. This is not my favourite bishop. I can make it a tall pawn by placing it on e3. It feels like we have reached a critical position. Isolated pawn there, hanging pawn there. That's the thought. Also, this one's undefended. Feels like the right thing to do is to grab the free stuff. I don't want this 2-on-1 situation. Not very happy about that, so is there any really good reason not to grab the pawn? Not that I can see. 11.5 minutes, opponent's over 15 minutes. He's not even using his 10-second average increment. Did beat the 1600 player twice in a row this morning at Blitz. So they ain't that good. Same player. Everything's kind of happy. Rook defends this. Do I want to do this? Do I somehow want to get rid of his... If I could get rid of the bishop pair, I'd be quite pleased. So here, I think I can force his dark squared bishop off the board. It can't go here. Here or here, I could take it with the knight. Brings his queen out. Okay. What's your game? Can't go there because of that. I can go here and threaten chickadee-matey. Seeing as his bishop's now just got off that diagonal where it's doing such a good job. I don't think my rook can get trapped here, but I can take this pawn. Also gets a rook off. What's it doing there? What are you thinking? If knight in here, he's got to stop my queen from coming in. So g6 would do it. f5 in theory would do it, but I can capture that en passant. g6, I've got this move as well, which forces his rook over. I don't see any major problem. Oh no, for g6 I don't have that because I've just blocked it with my own knight. Okay. Now, is it Harry time? Do I want to take this? I'm not too afraid of this pawn now. I'm not sure that capturing this free pawn is worth a whole tempo. However, having more access to the 7th rank might be a good thing. H4, H5. Obviously, he can't take because it's mate. Yeah, we could open things up, and then this. Even something like queen here. I mean, this pawn's undefended as well. He might stick his bishop there and defend both of them. That's quite likely. Here. Or something just really crude like bishop d2 and try and swap off. Is he thinking, is that his plan? Is that your plan? A simple fork, which bishop d2 would prevent, has to be said. Okay, bishop d2 it is. Let's try and break the bishop pair. Single bishop is worth a lot less than half of a bishop pair in an ending, particularly when it's a nice open board. Okay, takey takey. And he still has an in pawn, and I'm actually still a pawn up. Okay, there he goes and defends. Also attacking this one, so rook a3 would resolve that problem. It'd be nice to drop my queen into this square with a mating threat. That would force h6. I've got this. I've got rook fa1. But there's no real good reason to give up the pawn. Especially since I can't play like rook b1 and do that. So, discretion is the better part of valor at this point. So queen f4 to h4 threatens mate. I'd like to connect my rooks again. They're kind of missing each other right now. And this pawn is a little bit of a annoying vestige. Huh. I am a pawn up. My opponent has slightly weakened his king. h4, h5 is still a thought, but I don't see much of an outcome from it. If I get my queen into here, I'd like to be able to try and checkmate him, but the knight is kept out of the light squares, which it needs to be on a light square to support this square, you see. And it can't go to any of those squares. Is it time to retreat the knight and just try and consolidate? Add another defender to this pawn. He's stopping me from playing rook b1. I understand that. Rook a1 is doable. Rook 3 to a1 is also doable. But actually no, that because that undefends that pawn. I can push the pawn up. I kind of feel like just retreating the knight now is the grown-up option. Okay. Didn't anticipate that one. In reply, there are thoughts of this. Try and trade off the queens. Now the knight does defend that. What other weaknesses does he have? He has an undefended pawn here. Okay, so I kind of like that because I'm hitting the queen and hitting the pawn. Okay, sold to the man in the purple refereeing top. Played refereed 2 games today, or 1.5 games. So that's 3 rugby matches in 24 hours, keeping me fit and young. Okay, so the issue here is looking at 2 bits. And he's saved the queen and defended the stuff. I'm inclined to get pushy with my pawns. My queen can come here if needed. So can my knight, so can my rook. So I'm not worried about back rank, the fact that he's got these 2 major pieces on the back rank. Can we put more pressure on here? Knight on one of these squares would do it. Or on this square would also do it. Can't get to any of them in a hurry, actually. Can't go here. That's silly. B4, B5, even B6. Seems like the best idea I can come up with, down to 6 minutes 45-ish. My extra pawn is in this middle block here. So at some point, some kind of push will be called for if I'm going to win this game. Well, I'm not getting suckered into that. Now, if I attack the queen, obviously the queen has to stay on this file to defend. I attack queen, he could trade off. Then the queen can come down here with check. But I can block with a knight. Or I just drop my rook back, and the back rank is now covered. This isn't playable, queen takes. Really working a bit on just trying to play the right moves, sensible moves. Okay, well, I've got rook takes, I've got king takes. King takes could fall to a check here. Rook takes is fine. I'm still a pawn up. And now stuff is coming off the board. Yeah, so earlier on, for example, I had a situation where I developed my bishop, and then there was some kind of attack, and the right move was bring the bishop back on the very next turn. Yeah, you've got to be pragmatic. Okay. Really love to trade queens off, but don't see how that's going to happen. This pawn break is not an easy thing to do. I think queen here is probably okay. God, it's this square and this square. I want to make this bishop look bad. Just hiding all my stuff by sneakily putting everything on dark squares. Including this knight, by the way. Okay, so I can't take because of the queen. So let's just go here. Put it on a dark square, cover the corner, cover this, cover everything. So the lady is multitasking. Is this even a thought? Rook takes, queen takes, safe on the back rank, happy days. My knight wants to go to that square, but it can't. The black's queen is also kind of looking after all the children. In fact, no, Daddy's doing a decent job here, over there, but same with me. But yeah, the queens are in a highly defensive capacity. Now, a principle is that you should be using the cheapest possible resources to defend your stuff. I'm thinking of rook c1 to get the queen off the open file. If I do that, where's she going to go? Ooh, hello. King's on the right. Let's play this move. I can't see a problem with it. He can't bring his rook in because it gets gobbled. Okay. Now, I think the key to this is going to be finding the best use of this knight. And I don't know what it is right now. If I could pick this knight up and put it anywhere, where would I put it? Is it? I mean, is Harry still going to play a part in this? You know, this is a slightly weaker pawn. This is a target. H4 is a thought. I'm not concerned about the queen coming in. I'm not afraid of her. Right, I'm going to send Harry on his way. Off you go, Harry, my son. I could also play queen over to d2. It still defends both of these pawns. Still defends the rook. Defends here. But also could... covers these squares. Oh, yeah. Oh, the old adding more attackers than defenders trick. Yeah, well, I didn't note that this was now attacking the pawn and that the rook could actually come in. Is this, but then if rook takes queen takes pawn anyway. Looks like I'm going to lose that pawn. I can't defend with the knight. I can defend here, but then bishop takes rook. That's annoying. Here, a pawn simply takes. Here, the queen's going to have to move. And my rook can get into the 7th rank now, which pins this pawn here. There, queen in. No, I think I just need to open something. There's nothing I can do about this pawn. I have to let that go. This, and I'm threatening push the pawn with check. There are possibilities here. And if he takes, I've got queen there, forces the bishop to block. And then my knight can come around with check, maybe. Also got rook c7 at some point. So I've been blitzing quite well today. Struggling to stay above 1500, but the games that I've lost, I've only been outplayed, once or twice. I played about a dozen, 15 games. Yeah, a lot of the games that I lost, I'd earned a really good lead and then just done something stupid. Queen has to defend this because it's attacked. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that, but I do get to play this now, and that will force the king away. King now has to go back onto the back rank. Does he not? Okay, do I want to break the pin? Ba-bum-bum. Here, rook takes, queen takes. So his passed pawn is better. Yeah, his extra pawn is better. Mine is here, and it's running right into crossfire. I think I may have to do this and see what his intentions are. I can always put my king here. It's quite safe from the queen. So I could have done takes, move the king, then come in with ideas. In fact, oh, I can't go on the back. Oh, I was just going to say that would be checkmate if I could drop one of my pieces onto the back rank. So if I move my king, that's forced, and that's checkmate. So I think he has to trade off rooks. I think he does. He's down to 12 minutes now. He's used the whole 3 minutes of his time. So this bishop's doing a very important job right now, but we have to remember that Harry the hero is guarding g7. Opponent really needs to keep his bishop on this diagonal, does he not? Oh, didn't mean to pre-move that. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that, because then just bishop takes, and I've just given away my extra pawn, which isn't actually an extra pawn, but it's an unopposed pawn as things stand. So he's figured out the same stuff that we've been talking about. I break the pin and liberate the rook, then that would lead to a forced mate. But of course it's black to play. So if you think about it, this is an 11-5 game, which the computer is then saying that it thinks that black has a 2-to-1 chance of winning. Surely, I think I just have to take that. Or I could just go for this idea. No, it gives his king a square, so I think I have to take. Now, hang on. Wait a moment, that's checkmate as well. Now that he's moved that pawn. That wasn't a possibility there, but after the pawn moves, queen here onto a dark square c7, dark square g7. Nothing else to be done. Okay. Now, my knight can come in with check. So let's say I check now. He can block. He's got two pieces looking at this square, which is annoying. However, I then have knight there. So I'm going to throw in this. Now this, and he can't go here. And he can't go here, or here, or here. He must block with the bishop. G4, G5 would be mate, wouldn't it? No, he can play king there. Okay, queen here. No. Queen here, and he's forced back. Knight may still come in. I think queen there is the way to go. But let us review probably G4, G5. Yeah, it's slower. This is forcing. And may lead to something yeah, exactly. Now here, and that's two attackers on the bishop, which itself is pinned. So, black must defend the bishop. And it's going to be queen there or queen there. But then I get a pawn. He might throw in a spite check, then I've got king h2, and I don't think he's got any more checks after that. Well, not good ones. Queen h1 is a legal move. But I think he's going to have to do one of these. If he throws in this check, and I move, the queen can't get back and defend the bishop, after all. So, compulsory. But also, let's think about this. Then it's a no. You did not just do that. What are you thinking? Okay. Right. But I have this now, winning this pawn, do I not? Here. Blocks. Then I've got to do something with the knight. Maybe drop it back down to here. Okay. Now I'm attacking this pawn, but I can't take immediately. If I take here, queen takes, that defends the pawn. That's upsetting. I have to kill this pawn. I'm going to take that one first. No way. What? An accidental checkmate! I accidentally checkmated you. I apologise. I didn't even see it was on. But all the same. Nodden Tofts, thank you for the game. Apologies for my crude outburst, but bugger me. Yeah, indeed. Look, the queen is guiding all of that. The pawn guard's here, and the knight actually here, and the knight gives check, and whew, what a checkmate. But these are the things that happen. You know, we don't calculate to the nth degree at the 1500 or 1600 level. But that was deeply satisfying, and I'm proud that I completed the game with 3 minutes 41 on the clock and my opponent still at 11 minutes, right? Because he thought this is going to be relatively easy. He thought, like chess.com thought, that he's got a 2-in-1 chance of... is it 2-in-1? Yeah. Yeah, because he wins... I don't know. How does it... So, if I win, I get 11 points. If I lose, I lose 5. It's probably like that, yeah. But that's what 100 points makes. That's the difference. 100 points is like, 2-in-1. So maybe 150 points is, I don't know, 3-to-1, something like that. Okay, but lots and lots of fun. I enjoyed that. Very happy with my performance, actually. On the whole, I feel like I'm being a bit more calm and sober with my moves, which I'm quite pleased about. Actually, no, this isn't checkmate because we've got king takes here. But wow. Oh, queen d8. Queen d8 is also mate. No way! I had 2 mates! Sorry for the Gotham impression. I had 2 mates! What? Wow. 2 mates in 1. Knight h7 is mate. And queen here is also mate. X-ray defending the knight through the king. King can't go here. Can't go here because of pawn. Can't go here because of knight. Beautiful. Well. Bugger me sideways. That was a load of fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you all later.